Regarding Mr. and the color purple, we talked earlier about your speech from Lysander in Midsummer Night's Dream about deferred dreams. Having studied all of your performance and the roles you've portrayed, there is a connection in all of them that your characters are fighting against deferring dreams, and Mr. is fits into that where it's so poignant that his dreams have been deferred. Um,
And that's what I started to glean from when I went back to read the book. Because, I think it's easy to just for anyone to just think of Mr. just as a villain and as an abuser. But for me, I thought what's complicated is to get to the heart of an abuser and find out why hurt people hurt people. Then I knew how to play him. At first, I thought, oh, even when the offer came in, I thought the idea of playing Mister, I'm like, he's a horrible person and does terrible things. But if I can find his beating heart and what makes him hurt, I think that's what helps the character of Celie forgive him at the end because she holds a well of forgiveness. But also, again, it's because I want to make sure the character's smart. So for me, as I know that where the journey is, I'm like, if she forgives him, what is it about him? So he's got to have something. There's something in him that she sees that he's broken, and that he's also trying to do the work. He doesn't know how to do it, but he's going to try to figure it out. But for me, I can unpack it in a way of it's what I just believe of like giving everyone room to make horrific mistakes and have a path for forgiveness.
there's one moment that I, I, I'll never forget. It's so poignant. Is when Corey Hawkins and the head in the chest, and
He notices everything. It's a moment that we discovered in rehearsal because we were doing the scene and he's just walking out of the walking out of the juke joint and they're both he's drunk and but it's the one time he says in language, I thought that you were stupid to do that
the
juke
gym
joint,
joint. Yeah.
but you did good. It's his first offering that you recognize that he's done that he thinks his I think he admires his son and he wishes he could be like his son. And then we start to look at Mister's. The moment we meet older Mister, we see what he's come from. We see also the system that he's been in America. And we're like, well, this is a very broken man, and this man is abusive because he needs to feel big. He calls himself Mister. His name is Albert because he's like he wants respect that he doesn't have. So for me, that one little moment we discovered, and I thought before it was like he just pushes him away in the script. He pushes him away and say, "Get off me! I'm not old," and walks off. Just anger and hostility. And I found a moment where, because I'm like, he's inebriated, and he says something, and then he just lays his head on his son's chest. He's so unaware of it that he needs touch.
Hmm.
And Corey says in the most beautiful way, "Pop, you all right?" And then Mister snaps out of it and recognizes what's happening, and that tenderness and sensitivity he pushes away from back to toxic masculinity because he wasn't taught how to be tender.
And I don't know if this was your choice or whose choice it was. When this show was done on Broadway, Mr. had songs. And he doesn't have songs in this movie.
Yes,
And you're like a man without a song.
that's exactly it. That oh my God, that's exact because I thought here's a man I sing and dance, and I was almost offended when I got to the script. I'm like, so y'all just gonna cut all my songs? I thought I had songs. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll just let Fantasia sing. That's fine. And then I thought of it. I thought, because Blitz and I talked about it, I said, because I did have one song they were going to keep in. And then because they were focusing on the women having songs, and I thought, well, no, I think it's important that Mister doesn't have a song. And that's his problem. He does not have that expression to get out of him in song.
Wow.
And so that I took that and I downloaded that as part of my character. The one
Wow.
character, the one time he barely has a song is when Suge Avery comes,
With the pants.
and he basically just does a little turn and has one line of a song. And that's when you see, because we made choices like that throughout. I said at one point when I'm just sitting with my, just sitting after Suge Avery comes, I'm holding a purple flower, and he's just twirling around a flower sitting on the porch. And so you see that there's a flower inside of him. It's so deeply buried in all this toxic stuff that he doesn't even know. But he has love as well, and he wants
Hmm.
that too.
You shot Rustin, and then you shot The Color Purple, but in between you had 18 weeks, 18 days where you shot um, Sing Sing. And then I have all throughout this past year, I've heard journalists go, how can you have done Rustin and Color Purple and then between Sing Sing? And I sit back and I go, whoever's asking that question didn't see you play multiple roles on Broadway like crazy. Am I right or am I
You're,
right?
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think that maybe that's it. They thought it was so unique because I'm able to build very different characters pretty quickly and figure out their lives. And so it was daunting for me because I liked to have a bit more prep to get there. But I knew the task when it came to Sing Sing was to actually is sort of the art of non-performance, to actually strip it away and find more of myself in the character,
Wow.
then build a character outside of myself.
Let's take a look at Sing Sing.